going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today it's January 8th and it's 19 degrees out here. Not much winter in southern Wisconsin. We got about 4 inches of snow around here total. Nothing on the ground right now. We've had some pretty warm weather, but kind of makes it for a long winter when you don't even have snow to play in or goof around, go skiing, go snowmobiling, nothing. Just sit around and feel the cold wind chills. So I don't know what everybody else does during the winter to kind of keep themselves occupied, but I got a couple of projects I work on. Thought maybe I'd show you one of my projects that I do. Go in the garage, got the heat on, and take a look at it. So one of the projects we've been working on is making this exhaust for the mini bike. Got kind of a dent there, but this mini bike likes to vibrate these exhausts pretty bad, so we decided to try to attach it to the frame back here. And yeah, I know it's really long. We're waiting to get the muffler clamps on. We'll, depending on how long the muffler is, we'll cut that off so that it ends in a decent spot. But it turned out, seems all right. We rode it around a little bit and it runs good. And so yeah, anyway, one of the projects I like to work on, I like to make these helmet holders. I've seen them on the internet and people sell them. They're really pretty easy to make. Let's set this up here. So it's really just a board. I use some red oak, and then these are just pipe flanges and pipe fittings, just regular black pipe, and I'll put a little piece of wood on the top just to make it easier on the interior of your helmet. Put a couple of code hooks on there, and then of course I put some stickers on there. You can put obviously any kind of stickers, or maybe you can even burn in some writing or something, make it personalized however you want it. But I've made a few different types, you know, these single ones, single helmet holders, and then of course the doubles, so if you got 2 helmets. And I set these up so that when they're double, that the screw holes between the two are 16 inches on center. So when you put it on your wall, you find a stud in your wall, and that way you get some good strength. I've got some other ones that I've made here in my garage. I keep my helmets on. And another one like that. These I actually put an epoxy clear coating on there, and so it's really thick clear. It's kind of time consuming, but it looks nice. And this one I made, it's just a smaller version of it. Some of these I'll put a little nub on the front so you can actually hang a coat hanger on it. Kind of works nice, but they're strong. You could probably almost lift your motorcycle by them. So I have another piece of wood left over that's in pretty good shape. Thought maybe I'd make one and you could watch it and see how I do it, and you could make yourself one maybe. Picked up this little Bosch hand router, and I like it. It works really well. I usually borrow a larger router, and I don't know, I'd seen these on the internet and I thought I'd give it a try. It was had a good sale on it. It was like $50 off, so we'll see. I got a kind of a funky bit on there. once I get it laid out, I'll take and I'll drill the holes. For this coat hanger, I use 1/8 inch holes. For my helmet mount, I use 3/16 holes. And then for the wall hanging screws, I'll use 9/32. And then I'll countersink the holes so that the screw I use sits flush. Now the next thing is to sand everything smooth and then stain it, clear it, put a nice clear on it, and then put the sticker on and figure out where I want to mount it. All right, well, we're back. So I finished staining and putting a clear on my board, and I was gonna do another coat, but I got looking at it and noticing these cracks, some of the, I guess you call it checking on the board. It's really not the best board, and I didn't notice this at first, but look how off that hole is. It's not even centered right. And my routing around these corners, which is the first time I tried doing something like this, didn't really turn out quite like I hoped. So I'm not going to waste the time and put another coat of clear on there, because this one's probably going to stay in the garage instead of be given away to somebody. Didn't turn out nearly as nice as some of my other ones. So, but I still wanted to show you what I do to put together the helmet mounting part and show you what I use. So these are the pucks I was talking about that I use my big 3.5 inch hole saw on. Cut them out on the drill press, and then I give them a little stain and a clear as well. But now in order to mount them, I'll take one of these pipe flanges and center it on here, just with eye by eye, and then I'll drill 2 holes. I put this tape on there to make sort of a depth gauge. I don't want to go too far and actually poke a hole through the top, so I just kind of hold it up to the side of the wood and eyeball how deep I want the screw to go, and then put a piece of tape on there to keep it from going any further. And as far as the black pipe, I use a 5 inch long. These are 1/2 inch black pipe. I use a 5 inch one, 90-degree elbow, and a 10 inch one. So I use, like I say, a 5 inch. You can use a 6, or you can use it longer. If you have a really big helmet, sometimes a 6 inch is a little better. It gets it a little further away from the wall. Sometimes with a 5 inch, a couple of my helmets will actually be just touching the wall. I'll tighten this one up to here and into here, but I never, this longer one I usually leave just hand tight. I don't bother tightening it. The only reason I tighten this one is to keep it from twisting or swiveling with the weight of the helmet on it. I'll show you how I do that. So I grab a couple of longer screws like this, and I'll put them right in here, opposite holes of each other, and then I'll take this over to the vise. I just take it with the screws, stick it down in the vise, tighten it right up. Now there is writing on this flange, and I like to kind of keep that writing facing up, so I will take this and it's getting good and snug, and I sort of just eyeball it. I'll try it right about there. Once I get this mounted on the board, I will take a good look at it and make sure that it's straight up and down and not cocked one way or the other, and I'll just adjust it as needed. And I'll use some number 14 wood screws, 1 inch in length. It's a bigger Phillips, so you're going to need a number 3 Phillips screwdriver for that. Next, I'll take and put this coat hanger on where I had planned to put it. And lastly, I'll take the decal that I decided to use and apply it on there. And there you have it. Now, one of the reasons I leave this hand tight is so that when I mount this plaque on the wall, I can get access to that screw very easily. Bottom one's out in the open and pretty easy to get to as well. Once I screw it to the wall, usually using an impact gun because I'm trying to put it right into the studs with a 3-inch long screw, I can screw this back in place. Alright, there you have it. Pretty simple project. You really don't need to go crazy with routering. You can sand the edges and make it nice, and obviously I just use a decal. You could spray paint something on there if you like. Get creative. It's very simple. You know, and the cost of this flange and this pipe, an elbow, another pipe, and another flange, I want to say it's less than 15 bucks maybe, because I think this is a couple dollars, maybe $1.50. You know, it's actually probably closer to $10 for those pieces. Some basic screws that fit, and you know, get the ones that you like. A simple coat hanger, which you can buy at any hardware store for $1.50. Scrap piece of wood laying around that you can just dress up, make it look nice, and it's a nice place to hang your helmet. Helmets aren't cheap, so it's nice to have a safe, convenient place to just put it and have it sitting there in your garage or wherever, ready to go. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I know there's not a lot going on in the winter time, so there's not a lot to talk about. I don't really have much maintenance to do on these bikes. The little dirt bike is kind of sick. It wasn't running very good the last time I rode it, but I'll maybe get that up there once we get through some of this project. And we got a snowblower we picked up that we're trying to get going again. Doesn't have any spark, so we got about 3 or 4 inches coming tonight, so it'd be good to get that running for the neighbor. Anyway, I hope you guys' winter is going all right. I hope you're staying warm. Look forward to spring. See you in the next video.